Hi, and welcome to the Little Bite of Everything podcast.
This podcast is for foodies, life enthusiasts, creatives, deep thinkers, you name it.
We believe in the power of insightful conversations. So, let's bite down on diverse topics, discussing our personal perspectives and experience. What are we waiting for?
Let's dig in.
Hello, have you eaten yet? Welcome back to the A Little Bite of Everything podcast. We are your hosts, Cindy,
Carol,
Maribel,
and April.
Since we previously talked about our plans for the future, today we wanted to talk about our perspectives on future family plans. A lot of people our age are getting married and having kids. So, when do you guys think you'll get married?
Oh gosh. Wow, that's a good question. I would say, I think I'll get married eventually. Let's say that. But I don't really have a plan because I don't know, like when I was younger, I had this plan that, I'll get married at 28 or 29 so I can have a little bit of fun with my partner before we're going to have kids, right? So once you have that timeline, I just feel like, okay, I'm going to get married at 28. So if I want to do that, then I should have my boyfriend when I'm at 26 or something, so I can have like a year or two to get to know that person before I can decide to get married with them. And I'm approaching 25 and then I don't see nobody is here. So it's frustrating if you have the timeline, in my opinion. So when you're tracing back to your plan right now, then you will be thinking about, oh, then I should have someone. I should be starting seeing someone right now so I can, have boyfriend maybe 2 years later, and then I'll spend a couple months at least to get to know that person, and before that we can both settle kind of in our this relationship. Which is not really happening. There's so many uncertainties happening in your life, moving around, just things should change. So I don't really have any plans like I used to anymore. After seeing all these changes happening in my life, moving around here and there, but I do want to, finally mentally settling down in a relationship where I, could find significant others so we can, I do see myself living with someone and in a marriage eventually. But, it'll happen when it happens, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of like you were saying, it's so weird that we had these timelines of oh yeah, I will date someone for a year, hopefully be engaged for a year, then get married, and then have a life together. But now I'm putting it into perspective. I'm if I like the person, yeah, we fell behind, especially this pandemic is not helping in our favor. I was oh no, I'll just leave those things for when I'm a little more mature, and I'll find a boyfriend. I'll invest time in that area later. And what happened later was unplanned for. So now I'm just stuck in this time where I'm there's no men around me. I am too weird online. I feel I cannot be 100% myself online. So how do you even present a version of yourself to online dating, which is just a weird in itself? And it's just marriage is so not in the near future. Because I'm dating is harsh during these times. So yeah, I feel I do want to get married. I do dream of finding someone that accepts me for being 100% me, I guess. Oh my god, so romantic. And loving me. And I love them, just being complimentary to my lifestyle and me to them as well. just like, I don't know, helping someone. Like, I really love to cook, so like cooking for someone one day. It sounds romantic, even though it can be just like, I don't know. I feel like some people don't appreciate what they have. Because, like, I know a lot of friends that have been married for a while now, and I'm like, appreciate it, love it. Because some people just, like, want it, but they don't have it. Oh my God, that makes me sound so sad. No, but I think it's, like, it's something that I want to work towards, because I'm not actively working towards it. But, like, it'd be nice to find that person, you know?
I'm kind of with you guys there. Like starting off, I did have kind of a timeline. Yeah, I wanted to get married by like 26 and have my first kid by 28. And I was kind of basing my timeline off my mom's because that's what she did. But now I'm like, I think a lot has changed. Just like
Right.
growing older and just like realizing things. And I'm like 25 this year, 26 is next year. Yeah. So, but I think now I kind of just want to enjoy my youth and my 20s. And my next plan is maybe get married by 30, but we'll see. I mean, nothing. I think if you like what you guys said, like if you have a timeline and you don't meet it, then it's like you get disappointed. So I'm trying not to have that timeline anymore. It's kind of like if it happens, then it'll happen. And you never know when you'll meet the one. And like if they compliment you in your life, then you'll get married. I mean, I eventually want to get married one day. What about you, Carol?
So I never had a timeline for this. If you guys know me already, I was pretty much like, I guess, career driven or stuck in this like road that I'm going to get somewhere and I want to be somewhere. Still am. So, but you know, I do look at it. I'm just like, I do want that one person that who could be like that sidekick with me or like a partner in crime. I guess it's going to be if I meet the right person, like you guys all said, and when the time comes, when the time comes.
Do you guys think like sometime because there's so many news flying around about like the divorce rate. People are not getting along. They're getting divorced. All these things happening when people like after people get married, it just scares me sometimes. I was like, I guess they're not really setting up a very good impression to me, like about how things would go in a marriage. And then Maribel said that like some people just wanted to go into a marriage, they're like happy with it, or like when they're not getting married, they're like try to like they wanted to get married. But I think a lot of times people think about that is because they're thinking outside a box. They're not in the box,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Right? Like you haven't done that, so you're like looking forward to it. But sometimes don't you feel like when you're actually down there or like you're inside that situation, you'll be like, why did I do that?
See, I feel like it's really hard when you go into a marriage looking for someone to complete you instead of being two complete human beings and being like, oh, we're equals and now we make up like a greater team. Because if you have like one broken person looking for someone to love, but they're broken, like the other person really can't fix you. It's like if you're going into that relationship with like, oh, I want someone to complete me or someone to love me. It's like, no, you're going to be there to love and support the person next to you too. So I feel like a lot of marriages fail because people are not willing to grow, not willing to just like, because what a lot of people talk about like marriage as settling, like that's when you stop growing. That's when you start just like, not caring type of thing. And I don't think that's okay. I feel like when you're married to someone, you still continue to grow. You still continue to like encourage each other and build each other into greater places, which is like me and the romantic idea that like I want someone to have that same mentality, where I know that that's why I haven't found the one, guys. There's a lot of guys that are not ready for all of this. I'm like, you guys need to be, proactive in your ways too, you know? So it's hard to find someone that like is already there too.
No, yeah, you guys will need to grow together, to complement each other, which is hard.
Oh yeah.
Like this whole process is hard. Like thinking about, so we're all going to support each other. We're all going to get along. And then to reach that point, there's a lot more to go through. Thinking about that, I'd be like, it's okay. I'm happy with just myself. So I can take care of just myself, not another person.
See, that's why I feel like it's so weird. So many people got married during 2020 because of the whole like pandemic, and they just wanted someone to nest with or someone to like start building quarantine with or something. Like I don't understand the basis of a lot of marriages that I saw happen, and then now they're having children. I'm like, how can you even bring children into a world that's broken? Like that's my whole perspective on like me having children right now. I wouldn't bring children into this world with the way that things are going. I just don't think I feel like I'm not ready for that kind of journey. It's a little tough.
I definitely agree with that. I love kids too, and I eventually want to have mini me's, but not right now because I'm still trying to, like what you said, figure myself out. And there's still like so much things that I want to do. And like once you have kids, you kind of are tied down. You can't do as much until like they get older, and then you have to wait until retirement. But I just want to do a lot of the things that I want to do before having a kid, and making sure that like my life is stable, like
Wow.
my is stable, and yeah.
What life will ever be stable?
I mean, we can only hope. We can hope for a brighter future.
That's true.
We can hope that we will be stable. It's something that you know when you're ready, even though sometimes you don't know, and the universe is like, you're ready. Have it. You're having a child. It's a gift. Like I would think of it as a gift, but I probably
if it was an accident, then it was probably a beautiful accident that we're all here.
Yeah, that's what it is. Wow, that was said as a true poet would say. It's a beautiful accident that we're all on this earth. What about you, Carol? Children or no children? Why or why not?
Okay. So back in the day, when I didn't plan to marry, by an age, I didn't have a timeline of when I wanted to marry. I just knew I wanted 3 children because I have 2 other sisters, so there's 3 of us, and I love having like odd numbers. Sucks for the middle child, but just saying, it's kind of fun having an odd number so you can break the balance. But as of right now, thinking about children, I don't know if I want 3, unless it's like triplets, go in one go. That's it.
Wow.
Do those like run in your family?
No, see, that's the point.
Like they actually do run in my family, so I probably have some. Oh no, like twins. Yeah, triplets. I mean, I wish.
Very rare. But you never know.
Very rare.
I mean, unless maybe you might have a chance if you did like the actual like the the whatever where we go get it at the doctor.
Yeah, you can take the shots where you can produce more, you know?
What do you think, April?
For me, wow. I have no desire to having kids. Sorry. I mean, I had this plan. Yeah, I had this plan. I had so many plans, but when I, walk into this reality or getting to know the society more, all my plan were pretty much crashed. I just, I, I'm fine with kids. I mean, I don't love kids, but I'm like, I don't hate kids either. I'm just like being very neutral to kids. I can hang out with them. I have so many nephew and niece. I see myself being a really cool aunt there. But raising my own kids is a different story. I think it takes a lot, responsibilities, financially, mentally, physically, everything. Being a mom's hard. And especially raising a kid, I think, I don't know, it's a teamwork. You really need to get along with your partner to make sure there's nothing comes up during this process of raising a kid. And yeah, those are all my concerns. And plus, I don't know, I don't feel like I can bring a lot to my kids nowadays, just by looking at what we have in our community, what's happening right now on kids is scary. All the social medias, all the things are happening just on a daily basis. I don't know. I feel concerned. And I have a half sister and she had kids. So pretty much our blood continued already. So I don't really have that pressure. But yeah, I mean, for now, I would say no. And I don't really have any plans for that yet. Maybe I would never have. Oh man. But sometimes I do feel like kids are cute. They're a continuation of your culture and your family traditions get passed on to them. It's kind of a cool experience, but to do that, there's actually a lot to suffer.
Yeah.
Before you're able to pass down all these things to your kids, that kind of beautiful moments happening. There's a lot to do before that. And kids growing up, there's a lot that you need to discipline them. Thinking about those, I'll be like,
Yes.
that's a lot of work. And then what if I don't educate them or discipline them well, and then they did not turn into a very good person in the end of the day? What am I going to do? Because growing up, I don't really feel like my parents did a lot to me. Like it's pretty much just me watching how they do things and then learn from them. So I didn't really pick up any. I'm pretty sure if I were going to have kids, I'll probably just do whatever my parent did to me with a little bit of adjustment because generations are different now. But yeah, I feel like raising a kid is really difficult as of now if I think about it. But well, we never know. Maybe one day I'll change my mind if I really find someone that I really, 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 really love, that I want to have a kid with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You can be like the father figure and the husband can be the mother figure.
That's so funny.
He could be the one taking care of the kid.
But yeah, maybe. Because in my family, my dad was pretty much a freelancer. He stayed at home a lot, where my mom goes to her work like 9 to 5. So,
That makes
yeah.
sense. It's just like a modern family setup, because a lot of people have this concept of the woman that's the household
Like
caretaker, housewife, and then the man is the one that provides. But it's like being independent women, like it's different. It's I don't feel like it's a traditional household, even because of the age like that we're thinking of going into a marriage or like having kids and stuff. I know my mom was like super young when she had all of us. And it's like, I'm not going to be that young, energetic mom that has like 5 kids. Like, that's not going to happen. It's probably going to be 1 or 2. Like, thinking of it like with a level-headed mind, like, there's no way that I'm going to have more than 3 kids within the next, I don't know, 10 years. Like, my body cannot handle that. I don't think it can. Like, it's just like, difficult to think. But April, you have full consent of being a great auntie to my 2 children. You could spoil them. I'd be like, oh, you're going to Auntie April today. Ask her for money. I'm kidding.
That would be cool. I totally like my dream or like my hope is going to my niece and nephews like the parent conference at their school. I'll be the coolest on there.
The aunt with
all
the tattoos.
Oh, I hope things don't go that way, but I could. It will be cool. I see myself being a really cool parent, like a parent there. Not like they're real parents, but look after them growing up. But having my own kids is a little different for sure. But yeah, we'll see.
I remember distinctly having a conversation with a boy that a friend. A boy that's a friend.
Okay, whatever you said. Okay.
That he was asking me how many children I wanted, and I was like, "Ooh, this is personal." But like, I feel like I told them something unrealistic because I've always wanted a big family. But like, considering everything that's happened, I'm like, whoa, my plans and my perspective on family has shifted so much, and I was like. I probably told him like 4 or more. And I was just like, wow, that's not going to happen. And he had just like, I remember he said that he wanted like 2 kids or something. I was like, that's not enough for a party. What's going on? But at the same time, like thinking of the type of like person he is, I was like, oh, his kids would be a lot to handle. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I get it. Like, even thinking of my family, I'm like, I feel like if it was just me and my sister, like, that was a lot on my parents. And they had 4 of us. That's a lot. So, I just feel like it's so interesting that you just meet so many people and, like, to find that person that matches your, like, what you want and or if you want to match what they want. It's so weird.
And I do want to add in here, I just thinking about sometimes that it's hard because I think the traditional way of how a family is like people would have kids. Like if you don't really want to have kids, then you really should or need to find another one, like another person that's having the same idea as you do, because guys are a little different, right? It's like I don't know, it's like for girls, if you kind of pass that period of age, then you can't have kids anymore. But guys don't care; they can have kids whenever. That's kind of thing, right? So, and then. Also, having kids as a mom or as a parent, you need to give up a lot of things for sure. No matter it's work related or anything, you need to spend more time with your kids, right? And that's something kind of need to think about before you're doing that. It's not that when you're having kids and then you just have a kid, you just have a new family member, right? You need to take care of them. You need to like being a parent, right? Your parenting duty is needed.
I mean, despite it being so hard, I don't think that if you ask any mother, like, would you regret, like, do you regret having children, or like, would you not decide on having that child? I feel like for the most part, a lot of women they have a different experience, and they have a different like view on parenting after having children versus before. I feel like my sister said something so interesting. She was like, being a parent is the most selfish act, or wanting to have your own children, because it's like, how selfish and egotistic do you have to be to have a mini version of yourself that you get to create? Like, it sounds, I'm like, dang, that's kind of true. But at the same time, it's like, you want to build this. It's like your accomplishment. Whatever they do becomes your like successes too. So I totally see how it can be selfish, because we really don't need to bring more children into this world. Like, we can love existing children, which kind of brings me into the next question. Would you want to marry someone with kids if you didn't want to have kids, or like vice versa? Or no? Yeah. What would you do? Would you marry someone that had a kid?
I personally don't mind. Because I have a half sister, so my dad married before and had a kid. So yeah, but I just barely talked to my sister. But that was kind of a situation where I have in my family. So I wouldn't mind, but I think the crucial part is I would like to know what happened. Like, they divorced and then they there's something wrong. But I mean, it's about their relationship, right? Their privacy pretty much for both of them. So technically, I don't need to know too much detail, but I just want to make sure the man that I'm dating, it's not like there's nothing really mentally wrong of him, so that, they got divorced. I just wanted to know, because I know things happened. I cannot guarantee if I were going to a marriage that I would stay in my marriage forever. Knock on wood. But yeah, because I know divorce, I feel like that could damage the kid a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely wouldn't mind taking care of that kid. Like, it's a kid, right? And then it's my partner's kid. So I don't really mind, but I do want to know the reason behind it. Just briefly, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, although I don't mind, there's something that I know I do have a little concern here, because it depending on like if the kid is gonna live with us or with their mom. I don't know, because I think we talked about it last time that depending on how the kid's been educated growing up, or being kind of disciplined growing up, I would just be a little concerned, like how would their mom like taught them who I am in a way, because if the kid like was going to live with their mom, right, and I'll be like a little awkward there, right, like how their mom would kind of let them know that who I am. It's a little awkward situation there, but overall I think it's fine. Let's just be open-minded. Things happened, and if that's just how it is, if that's what you kind of step into, I don't think a very big problem. But let's. Things happen, but we have to really like go in there to see what's going on. I can just say yes or no, but just in general, I think I'm fine with it, as I'm kind of in that situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of scenarios are like different. Every situation is specific to its own. But for me personally, I think when there's like children involved, it can get a little messy. So there's like a lot of red flags sometimes that you can like get from a person that has been previously in another like marriage or relationship and they have a child. And I feel like it's muddy waters. Like it's something that I personally wouldn't tread into because it's just I wouldn't understand where they're coming from for them, like majority of the time, even though I would want to be super understanding. It would just be very difficult, even though I think I am capable of loving a child that's not mine. That's not like the thing. Because I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't love another child because it's not mine type of thing, which I think is really dumb because I think love is like a choice and you choose to love. So I don't think that's the issue, but it's like me not understanding where like why they left the other person or the other person left them. I think the only like way I would like take a man with a child is if the mom or their family is no longer out of the picture, like in the picture. So like a widow. And I feel so bad saying that, but like like you said, it's like discipline and parenting. Sometimes you won't agree with the other party's way of doing it, but there's no way because you're not like the blood parent, the biological parent. So yeah, I think it's a little stressful and I probably wouldn't engage in that. Yeah.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm kind of the same as April. I mean, like, I wouldn't really go for the person if they had a kid, but if it happens, then it happens. But I would definitely want to know why they got a divorce and like the reason behind it. But I think it's okay for me.
For me, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, because, you know, it wasn't in the plan. It wasn't in the timeline. I'm just like, it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And if I want a kid, I can go get one.
That's
if I
true.
wanted to produce a kid, there are sperm donors.
Very true, can't deny it.
So it's like, to me, I'm just like, I don't know. Like,
He has to be a really, really, really great man.
Like the great enough for me to accept all his faults or like flaws.
He only has like one flaw. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's definitely a very like a tough situation to think about. But I guess if it comes, then it just comes, and then we just have to, you know, figure out all the factors, all the things that are happening within that situation, and then make a decision afterward. I guess
it has to be like a Hallmark movie type of thing.
Wait,
like
I did
perfect
want to
man.
mention one thing. When I meant get a child, I meant like adopt a child.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to clarify that, like my rough language. Sorry.
all good. And then I think it's thinking about that. Like if the kid was really young, like a little kid, and I do think that kids needs love, and then I probably wouldn't mind to, you know, share some of mine because like the childhood of a children is really important. It would just kind of live with them or that kid for a very long time after they grew up. So yeah.
But I also think that this isn't something that we really need to worry about until we get older. Because like right now, I feel like the people that the age that we're looking for don't really have kids yet. I don't think.
You never know.
No. See, that's crazy because like I was having this conversation with a couple other friends that she was coming from an older perspective. She's like, every single guy that's my age either has a kid or is married. And I was just like,
Oh,
what?
wow.
She's like 29, almost 30. So
Carolyn.
I didn't think it was real until you kind of go out and like you meet people and it's like, oh, that guy seems like he's a good fit, but then you find out that he's like he has a child or he has a baby mama and
Already
like,
experienced.
yeah, but he's no longer with her or something. Like there's like little red flags here and there that are like, you can't be a single man at your age if you don't have a flaw type of thing. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I want
That's
to
what I
believe that
think,
there's great people out there like us, you know, we don't have flaws. We're perfect.
Some people
Notice
try
that
to
sarcastic
be-
tone.
Yeah.
However, yeah, I heard something like that. So, but I think, yeah, 25 is a good age where people are still not very like committed or having children unless you're from a small town. Then you're the last girl at this train stop and no more trains are coming. If you know what I mean. There's a trolley with cobwebs coming on. But
Carrie, you want to say something?
No.
don't be
Just move.
discouraged.
Do
There's
it.
a handsome 30-year-old man or 28. Would you ever date younger? That's another talk for another podcast.
I think Carol would.
Wow. No,
Ooh.
we literally just talk about guys at our age is like are not as mature as we are. Thinking about if we're dating even younger guys.
I mean, you're right.
I mean, for Carol, I think it's okay. But I think for us, yeah, they're not mature yet.
And then
I don't know how to take this.
Take it as you are a young soul. All right, and just to wrap up this episode on basically our future perspectives on families, there is this really insightful quote that we want to share. It states, families are like branches on a tree. We grow in different directions, yet our roots remain as one. And I think it's really sweet. I'm sure that you guys agree that it's a very, very, I guess, true quote in the ways that we have our perspective on families and how we hope to like have an impact in our future families. I don't know. I think it's really sweet as a perspective to have on families.
that's right. Yeah. I think it's important. That's where we kind of grew up from, right? Personally, I value my family a lot because I learn a lot from my family, how I grew up, and also taught me the responsibility a family carries to kind of the younger members of a family. So that's why that kind of made me to kind of think twice before I kind of build up my own family, because I do feel like there's a lot more responsibility to take, especially nowadays. But I do want to eventually have my small families so that things can be, carried forward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and I feel like it's a great quote to reflect on, brought to you by Pinterest quotes. We don't know who it's by, but it's good to reflect on a message like this. All right. Well, moving on, we will be heading into our foodie segment where we will be spilling the tea. Basically, our favorite tea recipes. We want to bring a couple to the table and just share those with you guys. Carol, do you want to kick it off? Favorite
Sure.
tea recipes?
Okay, so one of my favorite tea mixture is called the Grey Empress. It's a mixture of Earl Grey, vanilla, and lavender. you have to get I'm very particular about the mixture as well as the scent. So you have to get the teas from, like, I don't remember the company, but I got them at the farmer's market. I haven't been to the farmer's market in a long time, but they had the scent of the teas were like individually bagged, and then you just kind of mix it and make your own ratio. So depending on how much lavender you like or something, it's up to you. But that mixture is very soothing. And if you don't like Earl Grey, then I recommend just doing like a lavender latte. It's really nice and calming, especially when Mother Nature calls and you need something for your to warm yourself up. So that's two of the items. I don't have exactly a ratio. I just kind of do it by smell. Asian way of cooking.
Intuition. I get it. So that's your favorite?
Yes.
Oh, I like that too. I really love lavender and Earl Grey, like the perfect mixture combination. That's a great tea. That's a great morning tea, you know, something to like start a good black tea to start your day with. I feel I really want to go to like a good true tea that's just so yummy. Me and my sisters really enjoy a good jasmine green tea mixture with honey, some lime, and ice. It's so refreshing. Like especially during the summer, it's the best. It's very similar to a jade lemon, I want to say, from Dayong. It's inspired. It's a complete dupe that me and my sisters make, but it's so good, so good. I don't know. There's something about like a green tea that could make it really fresh. Like I don't know. It's like very sweet, like light. It's not very dark. That's why I really like it. It's like a perfect summer drink, I want to say. It's very refreshing. And then, yeah, I also really enjoy a chai latte, like a good warm chai. But I'll let anyone else take the floor.
My favorite tea is I like jasmine and I also like oolong. But I kind of like I'm just like tea. And I just let the leaves sit in my water and just like soak. I like strong tea. But and then I just keep adding water to it when it runs low. But an herbal tea that I really like is ginseng and red dates. No, not red dates. Goji berries. I like just like mixing those two together and just drinking it. Another one is we have a kumquat tree at my house. So my mom, like when it's in season, she'd pluck them all and then preserve them in sugar. And so we would do that, some hot water and lemon and honey. And that's really good when it's like hot. It's also really good for you if you have a sore throat. You just drink that and it's refreshing.
Yeah. For me, I would say I like all kinds of like floral tea. I just think it's really refreshing, especially when you're having it in the morning. I've been having this, I think it's a lemon plus ginger tea. I just bought like a pack of tea bags and then I've been having every morning. It just because it's good for you if you like have ginger during like summer mornings, I heard. But ginger in general, it's a really good thing for your body during morning time. So that's what I've been having lately. But I remember back home that we usually just have like instead of having tea bags, we just have like the tea leaves, which is pour in the water and then drink out of it directly, which is usually the tea gets stronger if you do that. That's yeah, basically what my family's doing. You kind of get the tea leaves will get like the color of your tea gets lighter and lighter after like several rinse of the leaves. So that's kind of nice. That's when you get to know, okay, probably need another kind of set of the leaves into the water or not. But yeah, because I don't drink coffee, so tea is always my go-to options during the day. And then it's detoxing, and especially when you're having like a really heavy meals, having like a tea after really makes you feel like
Healthier.
somehow it feels like it helps with your digest of all these kind of heavy things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you guys like matcha?
I love matcha.
I
Yeah.
feel like a good matcha latte is like a great source of energy rather than just having like a cup of coffee, because sometimes coffee makes you feel icky and gross. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I
love
always
coffee,
have
though.
that because I drink coffee, right? So I always just order that at Starbucks. I remember there's one time, I think it was Carol who introduced me the what is it called again? Linden
Instant
Fog.
coffee?
Oh, London
Oh,
fog.
London
I
fog.
love it.
Yeah.
Which one?
Um,
Oh,
London
London Fog.
Fog?
You,
yeah,
yes.
that was pretty good. I like that. Order that. Although I haven't really gone to Starbucks for a while now, but that used to be my go-to. And the green tea latte at Starbucks. Yeah.
But yeah, I love matcha. But yeah, I think like I might try some of your guys' tea recipes. I need to go get some more tea. I have a full tea cabinet though, so I feel guilty buying more tea. But at the same time, it's like I drink a lot of it. So it's okay. But anyway, those are some of our favorite tea recipes. I will definitely be trying some of them. Thank you for sharing your trade secrets of amazing teas. Yeah, tea is great. It's a better alternative to coffee. You get energy. It's great.
It's
If you're
tasty.
interested, yeah, it's tasty. If you guys are interested in more tea ideas, stay tuned for our Instagram where we will be delivering a couple of our favorites that we didn't mention on the pod. So, yeah, make sure to stay tuned for that.
Well, that wraps up our show for today. If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on Spotify. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at elbowpod. That's ALBOE.pod. We will also be posting this recording on YouTube, so leave us a comment there too. Have a delicious day.
Bye.
Bye.